this is Joycey.
And Blake, and welcome to Savagely Scaled. In this episode, we will provide you with a glimpse of current and relevant CrossFit athletes in the sport, particularly the ones that Joycey and I most enjoy seeing. So, buckle up.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, before we get started, let's go with the word of the day. So today's word of the day is for time. So in CrossFit, when we hear for time, the goal is to complete the prescribed amount of work or workout as fast as you possibly can. This is also known as task priority workouts because the workout is done when the athlete completes the defined task, however long that takes.
Which this can go into a 4-minute workout to a 40-minute workout. And a lot of the times, even though if we say for time, we'll give you a time cap as well. So that way we're not going over that red line.
Right. And it's also a way of making sure you're not taking it too easy as well by setting a cap.
And sometimes you get to see, like, if you do Fran, you get to see an improvement in your time.
That's true.
Yeah. So look out for that on your bingo card.
There you go.
Dive it down.
All right, guys. So we're excited to jump into this episode. We're going to dig deeper into the games, which you will pretty much learn that only 40 men and 40 women get to participate in the individual category of the CrossFit Games, which means there are many athletes to get to know. But in this episode, we're going to focus primarily on the female CrossFit athletes that both Blake and I really enjoy watching. Of course, there's other crowd favorites, best lifters, best gymnasts, etc. But the beauty of it is that each athlete has their strengths and their own personality. So we hope that you one day will have your own favorite CrossFit athletes after watching a few CrossFit events. But to get us started and kick this off, Blake, you want to get us started with some of your favorite CrossFit women?
Yeah. Like how the TikTok says, these are my ladies.
That's right.
The one that I'm going to start with is my all-time favorite. Her name is Cara Saunders, or as she was known back in the day as Cara Webb. Her birthday is 10/26/89, so that means we are both going to be 35 this year, and she is a Scorpio. So I feel like we would be really good friends. Not best, so because that's taken. But really, really, really good friends.
Not to mention she knows you exist.
Yes, because last year for my birthday, you got me a cameo vid
of
her saying my name.
I don't know how I'm going to live up to that birthday gift because I think that was the ultimate. And I was like, I can do this? I can hire her for a Vimeo? Absolutely.
Y'all, I cried watching it.
It was so cool. It was really sweet.
Yes, every time I cried. Yes. And if you ever want to hit me up, I will be putting my information. No. Cara Webb has really good finishes over the years. So 2012 to 2018, she took 10th, 4th, 1st, 3rd, 21st, 9th, 1st again, 8th, and 3rd, and a lot of events for these for the
very
opener.
Consistent.
Yes. There was maybe 1 year that she took 21st in the open, but going into 2022, she took 7th.
Wow.
She's won the regionals in Australia 3 times. Right. She's been to the games 6 times.
Wow.
So she's pretty up there. Yeah, pretty up there with some of the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I am sad this year that she's going to teams.
I know.
But I'm happy for...
Teams is fun. Teams is fun to watch.
I'm happy to see her team and see how much they're going to succeed because I feel like they have a well-rounded team. The first time I saw her was when I was watching the games in 2015, and they were doing Murph.
Mm-hmm.
So Murph is that mile, pull-ups, push-ups, air squats, and then another mile. And they had to wear the weighted vests this year.
Man.
And it was very hot, like a scorching time that they were doing it.
Eesh.
And when she was finishing, that's when she kind of passed out over the finish line.
Oh my goodness.
And she had heat stroke and she couldn't complete it.
Wow.
And to see this person push themselves. Am I saying that you should do that? No. She was a very high level athlete, they push their bodies to the extreme. They are trained for things. And
Right.
to see how much that she wanted to complete
She wanted it bad.
and how sad, and, you know, just seeing that she put in all this work.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang.
It speaks to her grit and her determination as an athlete.
Yes.
And
it was
it's amazing.
Yeah. So going on to that, after that, I had been watching her for seasons and things like that. And then she became pregnant.
That's right.
And it was awesome to see her grow a family.
And be a mom.
Yes. And she has a daughter and a son, and I have a son and a daughter. So again, I think Cara would be
You
really
guys are
good
like spirit
friends.
animals, right?
Yes. So not only has she have a major accomplishments in the open, in regionals, and gone to the games so much, she can move a barbell not only for heavy loads, but also speed. She has recently moved to the Mayhem Athlete for her training, which maybe in the future we can go over different kinds of programs and what might fit you guys individually or as a gym. But she's just my overall favorite to watch, because sometimes in the games it's like she's the comeback kid of like, she's still kind of behind, but once you give her a barbell and you give her a ladder for like snatches, cleans, anything, like she's kill
on
it. And for a while she was one of the top dogs before Tia came into the picture. So well,
someone to look at for sure.
We'll have to see how her team does. So here's hoping. Who's your first lady?
I don't know, man. I feel like there's so many, but I feel like one of the tops that I always kind of love looking at are Katrin and Annie. The daughters. I always love watching Icelandic athletes. I feel like so many good athletes come from there. I'm also thinking of Sarah Sigmund's daughter. She's another one that comes up that maybe hasn't been as active either.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've always been an impressive group, and the one that stands out the most to me is Katrin David's daughter, who is a 30-year-old CrossFit athlete from Iceland. She started her career back in 2012. And again, I too, like Blake, am a little biased because she and I share the exact same birthday date. And I'm just like, what are the odds, right? But I do follow her a lot on Instagram and everything. And she has been, dedicating herself these past 2 years to coming back into the game. She kind of took a little break, I would say, to kind of focus on her. But she's kind of focused on jumping back in and dedicating herself to, getting into the games and participating. And she's been training with Matt Frazier, who is, to me, like an absolute god when it comes to CrossFit.
Oh my gosh, he knew how to like calculate everything and what to do.
He was so precise and so good at executing.
The year that he didn't get first, I think that's that year of training after that experience, he decided to dial things in training and was like, I can do these.
And he
I
does.
I can calculate all these things to win no matter what.
It's insane. So that you could only imagine like what his training must be like with his programs and how, very meticulous he is when picking the athletes that he wants to train. So when I heard that Katrin was going to join his team, I was so excited because I knew that she was going to get the best training possible. So kind of looking into this year, I'm hoping that she's going to jump in and qualify and participate. But I mean, she did win the games back in 2015 and 2016, which means she's a force to be reckoned with. She does have a very amazing friendship with another very famous CrossFit athlete, Annie Thorne's daughter, which I think is another appealing part of why I really love her and Annie as athletes. They actually take life outside of the gym and like write children's books and have their own podcasts and try to kind of, get involved with, women empowerment. And Annie speaks to like pregnancy and being a mom and coming back into CrossFit, and kind of Katrin speaks to the, I might not have been a mom, but this is me trying to get back into the game and what that's like. So I feel like they're just, overall very well-rounded, great athletes to watch. Very always happy to be out there and representing their teams or their people. And she just has a good vibe, good energy all the time. I too love to watch again. Very fashionable when it comes to CrossFit.
She is.
Right?
And I just felt like
I'm about the outfits too. I'm sorry. I watch the games and competitions and I'm like, I want that sports
she
bra.
Looks so good in
that.
them. Like her body type is amazing, which I'm never going to be because of my height.
Yeah.
And then I thought Cara Saunders was my height. I think that's also why I do like a little heightist thing. And she's not. I just didn't realize that the camera
She's so
adds
cute.
height.
Yeah.
But to even Annie, like I remember when Annie came back after her first pregnancy and seeing her hit a snatch that she didn't like.
Her
Face was like in awe of how strong she was. And it wasn't, what is it, like cocky
right.
or
it was
anything.
kind of like, I just did that. No way.
Yes.
And that became a famous GIF for a while.
And I feel like all of them have, like the athletes that I look at, not saying the athletes that don't look like they're humble,
right.
just the ones that I like to watch, like have something going for them in life, not just CrossFit. Right. Because we're growing. I'm getting older, so it's nice to see these athletes who are getting older compared to the youngsters.
True.
You know, the youngsters are also coming off of going from teens now to individuals and growing that way.
That's a good point. And Annie's been in the sport since, I think they said that she's the only athlete that has been in the sport or qualified for the games for 10 years straight.
I believe
or
so.
Something. So
she did the first games.
That's right.
Yep.
So that only speaks to like, I think it's just amazing, especially given that she also spoke to like, I'm so nervous, I'm going to have a baby. How is this going to change my body? And I'm like, yes, girl, those are the things that we all worry about. And I just appreciate how Annie has been very transparent about being a CrossFit athlete and being pregnant. And just kind of like, I don't know about you, but I haven't yet had the pleasure of having a child, but I would love to. But it was a thing that I was worried about. Like, am I going to have the same fitness level once I come back from something like that? And she was just very genuine, transparent about her fears, about her concerns, and even like afterwards, what she was feeling with postpartum depression and things like that. And I'm just like, this is the kind of stuff we need to be talking about in like the CrossFit community too. Like not only the positive things, but some of the things that can come and how do we face those, you know? And I feel like she does a really good job of just being fully transparent about her life experiences and also just how that intertwines with her love for the sport.
Yeah.
And I know that's enough. A lot of spiel about Annie and Katrin, but
second piggyback on that. Like when I was pregnant with Weston, I didn't really have like those athletes or anything. I had a coach, and CrossFit had a little schematic of what you should and shouldn't do and what percentages and things like that. Now that has grown because there's different programs in it.
Yeah.
When I was pregnant with my second, Harper, I was able to see that. Like Ariel Lohman has had kids. Cara was pregnant. I believe the same time I was pregnant with Harper. And then with Tia being pregnant, Annie being pregnant, like these women are creating something for all the women. Because we can say, oh, you can be this age and still move. Right. You could be this age and still move. We didn't have anything for the women of, if you were pregnant, how did you feel? Now with them paving the route, you can look at it, and for me, it's like, yeah, they're still lifting like they're 70%. To me, this is heavy. I don't have to. I can go down. But just knowing that they're also being healthy, because the number one thing that you hear is if you were running before being pregnant, your body still wants you to run. It doesn't want you to sit on the couch.
Right.
That's what gives you those, morbidities for that.
That's a good point, yeah.
Your body is used to this. Is it sprinting? No. Now we can go to a jog for normal people. But these athletes train their bodies day and night. So, they're doing what's best for their body. Just like I was with both of my pregnancies. My body needed that.
You had to listen to it, yeah.
Yeah. So that could also be a future episode walking into that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, just I guess topping it off, I feel like those two athletes in particular, those Icelandic athletes, have just been just a joy. So exciting to look at.
I feel like we're the shorter version of
I
them.
agree, man. I'm with you. So Katrin and Annie, if you want to shout out or anything,
or anytime when we go to Iceland, you guys are available.
Yeah, we have to drop in.
Yep, and you guys want to do a podcast with some average ladies,
right? Also, shout out to their daughter headphones, because I have a pair and those things are amazing.
And you got me a pair for one of my birthdays.
I did.
This chick does amazing gifts.
I do. That's
for
like
all of the amazing athletes out there.
I mean, gotta represent, man. Yep. I gotta use all the products. They're all amazing. But yeah, I love those headphones.
What? You can get these athletes to talk to you on Cameo? What? They have gear too?
I do pride myself in gifting. I love giving people gifts. It's weird. It just brings a lot of endorphins. Next, Blake.
Okay, my second lady is Bethany Flores. Also, she's known as Bethany Shadburn. So her breakout year was in 2017. That was her rookie year, and she placed 22nd overall. In 2018, she placed 16th. In 2019, she was 8th. In 2020, she was 20th. She won West Coast Classic semifinals in 2021. But in 2022, she had a back injury, so she had to take care of that. Which was sad because watching her in the 2021 West Coast Classics, I just remember her, Carrie Pierce, and Danielle Brandon. It was like the top 3 that entire weekend. Yeah. And that was at the same time. I knew who Carrie Pierce was. She was amazing. Amazing abs. If you want to get abs like hers, she has her own program, like Abs by Carrie or something like that.
Did you get it?
No, that's why I don't have abs.
You made it sound like you have it. No. I was like, lend it to a girl.
If you just see her abs, like, she doesn't have a 6-pack. She has a 12-pack.
Oh, my God.
Like, her abs look like most of the men's abs. Like, amazing.
Oh, man.
And she's a great CrossFitter.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get to that point. I just love her too much.
Yeah, and so she, with Danielle Brandon, and that's when the underdogs, and the underdogs who train in Vegas, they all started coming out. So this was like the time that these big gyms were having multiple people place and having these camps. It's like,
dude, imagine how cool that would be, going to a CrossFit camp. I know that sounds kind of like funky, but I know that
they have a cruise.
Shush.
Yes. I don't.
How do I not know about this?
So after COVID, I don't know if it's still out there.
We gotta look
because
this
again,
up.
guys, we're not the professionals, so we don't know everything.
A cruise.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I want to go on that cruise.
Someone's gonna drop a heavy barbell and punch a hole on that ship.
Boof, Titanic.
Right? Ah. No joke, though. No joke.
But she was one that I liked watching her and how she attacked the workouts. And this last game, she did very well with coming back from that injury, and you can see that she was mindful of her movement. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm pushing myself to the max because I'm coming back from an injury. I need to be very thankful that I'm here. And she was. I don't believe she's with Underdogs anymore. I believe she moved to San Diego and has gotten married. And she trains. I watch her on Instagram. Therapy she does for her back or for her hips and things like that. It's nice when those athletes say, like, hey, you need to do these stretches to help you. You know, we just don't get into the workouts just coming into the gym and I'm going to drop this barbell, warm up. And here's some warm up ideas. That's why I really enjoy her and can't wait to see how she does this breakout year.
Another very stylish CrossFit athlete, might I say.
So who's your other one?
I guess piggybacking off of Danielle Brandon, since you've already kind of mentioned her previously, I feel like when I think Danielle Brandon, I think like the bad girl of CrossFit.
The
like,
rock star.
Yeah, like she's so cool looking. She has a tat. She
Don't
has
give a peep.
Yes, she has the hair, the colored hair and the cool hairdos, the braids. Like I love her style. And then she also has like that attitude of like, I'm going to kill this workout. Or she even had like a moment with a judge who she was like, that should have been a rep. Like she's very like in your face, but I kind of love that.
She's not afraid to tell you you're number one.
Yes. And
on both hands.
Exactly. That's like one of her biggest things is like she could just handstand walk like she's on 2 feet.
She's like running.
Literally.
And even when there's obstacles, it's like, oh, I'm watching everybody, and I'm like, why is that one lane empty? Oh, she's already done.
Yeah, she's amazing to watch when on her hands. But just to give you some background, she's a 27-year-old American athlete who made her CrossFit debut in 2019. So she's somewhat new to the sport. But she is, in the short amount of time she's been on there, she's been recognized as the girl with the colored hair. And I would even say after she did do her hair thing, a lot of people started following track. And I was like, that's Danny's thing, man. But
yes, 100%. They were like, all of a sudden you saw these girls with those colored extensions. And I was like, oh,
it's a thing now.
Yeah,
it's a thing. She is currently ranked as the 9th fittest woman on earth. And she tackles her workouts with such preciseness and such grit. And if you've ever had the pleasure of seeing her do workouts, like she just demolishes in everything she does, and she stays pretty consistent, I would say, through like the workouts that she does do.
Yeah, there's some where you can look at it and you're like, okay, she knows where she's at and that's what
Mhm.
she's going to hit. There's other ones where she's like, okay, I need to pace here because at the end or in the middle, that's when I'm going to make up my ground. Because sometimes, just like us average people in the gym, we have somebody by us
That's
and we're
true.
like, oh, we have to sprint it. And that person is pacing it out. So by the end, now they're getting ahead.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, man.
Oh, she times it
Such a
so
mind
well.
game with
Right?
it.
That's
And
why
she's
it's so
just like,
fun.
I'm here to work out.
Right? That's why it's so fun to watch. And I know, like mentioned, she started at Vegas. And a cool story, I remember getting my Volkswagen car in the Vegas Henderson place. And I remember asking the guy, I was like, hey, did anyone famous ever come here and buy a car? Just starting conversation. And he's like, yeah, do you know about CrossFit? And I was like, absolutely. And he's like, that athlete, Daniel Brandon bought her car here. And I was like, you're joking. And he
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
she actually bought the same car you bought, just obviously like a different color. And I was just fangirling the whole way. I was like, do you have any idea who Daniel Brandon is? You had the pleasure of having her wait in this table to sign her car. And he was just like, is she good? And I'm like, yes.
Amazing.
I know. It was a cool though, because I felt so special. But now she doesn't work out in Vegas anymore. She's not with that team. But still, it still holds a place to my heart knowing that not so far away Daniel Brandon used to be in Vegas.
Yeah,
So,
right? That's only an hour and a half.
Right. But I am excited to see her this year. I know she's gonna want to participate. But yeah, she's just an absolute badass. Like I love her. She's so much fun to watch. But speaking of Danielle's, we have
I
another
know,
one.
going from one badass Danielle to the next.
Right?
My last lady is Danny Spiegel.
Yeah.
And I love her message, but I mean, also, like, little side note, another reason why I picked Cara Saunders was her legs. Amazing muscular legs.
Mm.
Bethany was probably because of her lovely locks and and that she's tall and lanky.
Ah.
And then Danielle
I
Spiegel
was gonna say Daniel Brandon though. Her body too is
her
one of the
body's really
bodies
good
that
too.
I'm
I'm
think
never
she's
gonna
the
get
epitome.
because of the height.
Is she really tall?
Everybody's taller than us.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's subjective. That's the truth.
And then I
Sad
picked
truth.
Danny Spiegel as
Oh,
Joyce's
she's
looking
tall.
up her height. How tall is she?
I am. Where do you find this out? The CrossFit Games? Oh, right here, obviously.
You find height of
The
Daniel
picture
Brandon.
she put up, that's hilarious.
Who
That's
is that?
hilarious. I think she posted a picture on the CrossFit Games website, guys. That's not even her. It's like a funny guy with a mustache, but that's her. Ninth fittest.
Can
I
you
think
imagine? She's like, that's my boyfriend.
it just speaks to her personality. See, this is what I'm talking about. She's so much fun. Where
I
do you
think they have height. Oh, no, those are her lifts or her things.
Interesting. I'll figure it out,
Yeah.
guys. But regardless, she's definitely taller than us.
Yes. So going into Danny Spiegel, her legs are amazing.
Oh my gosh.
They're
Oh.
like my arms put together, or both of my thighs. No,
Not
my thighs
girl.
are huge.
No, I'm like
They're
they
just
are
so
5'7".
See, I told you,
Oh, man.
they look shorter,
We
right?
need- yeah.
They
See,
look-
if we had
most of the tall people, most of the tall women, you guys look to me, and I can't tell
Like
height that well
supermodels?
because I look at people in the eyes.
right. Same.
They look the tallest like 5'5", 5'4".
That's
and
so
they're, like,
sad. We're nowhere
5'7".
near the average.
No, we're not.
This is why we look like hobbits.
I'm 5'2" on a good day,
Hmm.
and if I'm in my lifters, I'm a little bit taller, right?
This is why I love lifters.
But
Regardless,
Going
very
to-
beautiful
yeah,
women with
very
amazing
beautiful
bodies.
Danny Spiegel, she actually started CrossFit in 2015. And the reason why she stayed with it is a big reason why we stay with it is because of the community
Mm-hmm.
and what it builds. And as she has stated before, she's there to inspire her fans to crush all of their goals, which is an amazing outlet to be like, not only can I crush mine, but I want you to crush your daily goals, whether that's in the CrossFit gym or in life. So she has that essence of trying to build up
Right.
this women's side and lifting and the women's body. And she was inspired by Brooke Hintz, which when I started watching CrossFit, Brooke Hintz was another one that I liked to watch.
Mm.
Her attitude was just laid back, very happy. And to me, like, they have a similar build, but I can see why Brooke also inspired her, because Brooke was an amazing athlete too. So this girl's stats, in 2018, she placed 8th in Florida. And mind
Wow.
you, again, she started in 2015. She placed 80th in the world that year.
Wow.
And then 19th, she placed 26th, 20th, 13th, 21st, 35th, and the 22nd, 17th. So she has been growing, and we can see between 20 and 21 how people have kind of shot down, because that was like right after COVID and things like that, and getting back in. Besides that, this girl can lift back squat 370, snatch 220. I'm right around the corner, girl. I'm at 122.
Oh my god.
You just got 100 on me.
Man.
And these probably have changed within the year. Deadlift 420.
She's so strong.
To speak to how strong she is, at one of the events, there was a sandbag event. All the women had lifted. She had lifted the highest for the women.
Right.
Cleared it.
She took that.
She decided
easily.
No, I want to do the 250.
Yeah, I want to challenge myself.
She hit it.
Yep.
Then
no problem.
Yeah, and that was at one of the games. At one of the classics, or one of the semifinals, there was a Texas Oak event. Mm-hmm. And it was that big, huge, awkward Texas Oak one. And decided, crazy. Oh, you know what?
Just for fun.
Let's do the 215. See if I can even hit it. And she did.
And the crowd went wild. It was so cool. I was like, no, she didn't.
And to see her smile.
She was just like, yeah, no big deal, yeah. And I'm like, man.
But like, to see this, and how, again, grateful and gracious these athletes are to, like, I did this.
Right.
And you know what? You can do things too.
Right.
Like, try it. Try things. Does that mean that she's telling everybody to lift this 215-pound oak? No. She's telling you to go try something.
Right.
You to try and set goals and succeed in things, and even at the littlest things. And I just love that that's what she's going for.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty amazing, all these women doing what they want to do. And yeah.
Also, I do love her brand, The Girls Who Eat. She has like a weightlifting belt that pretty much just says Girls Who Eat. And I'm like, yes, I love that. And like Blake said, she has a lot of pro women. She's like participated in like fashion shows where she's kind of showing off her CrossFit body, because there is a lot of like, taboo conversation on being, too muscular, women being too muscular and looking anti-feminine. And she's very pro, being fit, being muscular, being all of these things, and even, being proud to show it off. And I'm very appreciative of that. I feel like as women, there is a lot of, concern of maybe we're pushing, doing a little too much, maybe we're looking a little too manly. And she's like, no, that is okay. It's okay for women to look strong. It's okay for us to show off all the hard work we've been doing. And she does that, and that's great. I also had a little fangirl moment with her, too, because I reached out to her on Instagram just saying, like, hey, girl, like, I love your fashion. I love your, sunglasses. And she's like, oh, yeah, I got them at Gucci. And I was like, did she respond to me? No, she didn't.
I know, because some people don't respond to you at all.
That's
or their managers do. And I was like, okay.
Well, I hope it was her, but it sounded like it was
her. It's probably her.
But I do give her love for that, because I was like, oh, that was sweet.
Body positivity for women and everything. The news for this episode is off of Morning Chalk Up, and it's about an amazing athlete, Athena Perez. She's building a course aimed at educating coaches about working with larger body athletes. So she actually created an Instagram page called We Belong CrossFit, and it's an Instagram page. So if you want to go and check it out, it's amazing. Her goal was to provide a platform to raise awareness about obesity and inclusivity within the CrossFit community, as well as to offer support to larger body CrossFit athletes. 2 years later, the We Belong community has done so much more. So what she's doing is creating a platform and this course for coaches to take.
I love that.
And like, the first thing was that I saw about her was with her CrossFit journey, which she does do. It began by her losing 225 pounds.
Wow.
I know. That's amazing. That same year, during the height of the global pandemic, Perez, also a member of CrossFit Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council, opened Scaled Nation CrossFit, an affiliate aimed at attracting those who might be intimidated by CrossFit. And she has been working with Born Primitive.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is like their sizes go from extra small to 3X. So it's nice that they have that.
I
And
love
that
for the
she's working with them, because sometimes with these apparel, they either don't go up or
That's
their
right.
material starts to shear and you can see everything. I know another company, CVG, does that too. They do
That's
more
true.
of the extra, like XL and 3X and whatnot. So it's awesome to see that she's also pushing other apparel companies
True.
to do it. The course is going to be designed by Perez along with 5 other CrossFit trainers. So this is working with the larger bodies, and its main goal is to educate and empower coaches to understand how to work with larger bodies. Because what comes to mind, a lot of people older, the older age, even the younger age, heavier set is, can I do those things?
Right.
I feel like,
without getting an injury,
yes, how
being
is my
safe.
body working and things like that, and not feeling judged.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing, because the world judges you on things. Like, I feel like I'm kind of fit, but I still get judged on things because I have loose skin here. I'm shorter. I'm this. I'm that. Like, we judge and nitpick things, and we can sit here and say our CrossFit gym is very not like that. Go walking through the door and you don't know anybody, and the world treats you that way.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to feel. So I want to see how that's going to be going. It's in the beta stages right now, and it's going to be a 1-day course, 8 hours, an in-person seminar. So we'll be going over lectures, break out into groups and activities, and cover not only how to physically train and progress athletes through common CrossFit movements, but also how to ensure your gym is welcoming and compatible with the challenges many larger body folks deal with on a daily basis.
Wow.
Yeah. I would love if I want to look into this and see if they might be welcoming Zoom, and
make it a virtual course.
I know that it says break it out into groups, but I wouldn't mind taking this. Yeah. This would be awesome for most gyms. If we're out there trying to slow down obesity levels, I can't wait to see if this becomes one of CrossFit's new courses that they're going to set up for seminars for coaches to come and sit down and do. I think that would be awesome.
It's definitely worth looking into and mentioning.
And it's amazing, Athena, that you're doing that.
Right?
That's awesome.
Girl, we're going to reach out to you soon.
Yes.
We want to learn from you as much as we can. Well, we're so excited to offer you guys this episode, to provide you with some names of athletes, to keep an eye out for this year's games. Plus, look at you. If you spark a conversation with a fellow CrossFitter, you'll be able to show off your expertise by throwing out a few names out there, So don't worry, we got your back. But please go out and look up these athletes, whether it's social media, YouTube, or CrossFit.com, just to learn a little bit more about their stats, their lifts, PRs, or even just to check out some really cool videos of past games and events. They're so much fun to watch. If you have any of your own personal favorites, please feel free to share them with us. We would love to see who you have an eye out for.
Yeah. Hey guys, if you have any questions about this thing called CrossFit, please let us know. Again, we don't claim to be the elites. I mean, come on, only in our minds. Or claim to know all. These are just our standards, views, and if you feel like this is your Swig of pre-workout, please subscribe, follow, and leave a review. Big thank you to my co-host. This episode was written by Joycey and myself, edited by us, and a shout out to all you guys for listening. Thank you so much.
That's right.
Music from SoundCloud and Upbeats. Findings of this episode are from games.crossfit.com, Wikipedia, Morning Chalk Up, Fitness Vault, and barbin.com. And until
oh my god. We can all right, let's do this. You can include that.
All right. And until we meet at the whiteboard again. Bye.